Okie doke. Hi guys, I just got back from seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and here is my review. This is the first time that I've filmed these this way. I didn't have time to edit my predictions before going to see the movie. I did film them, don't worry about that, but that was only like 5 hours ago. I got back from the movie just barely. It's past 11 p.m. and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to have time to edit them, and so I might as well just film the review, and so then I'm gonna be editing the predictions after filming this review, which is gonna be interesting, but you know, you do what you have to get these videos out. I've been kind of struggling with that with my Shadow and Bone review is still yet to come because I keep on overcomplicating it. This one, I'm like, I just need to film it right after seeing the movie to get my initial thoughts out there. So, if you're new to my channel, my reviews go as such. I'm gonna do a quick non-spoiler review, just say whether I like the movie and some reasons why, no spoilers. And then 2, the next thing that I do is I like to react to my predictions. I posted a video of my top 10 predictions. Well, I haven't posted it yet, but by the time I post this video, I will have posted a video about my top 10 predictions for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and so I will be reacting to my predictions and scoring myself out of 10. My goal is always to get half of them right. I don't think I quite got half, but we'll see. And then the last thing is just, you know, the rest of my review. Anything else I want to talk about, spoilers abound, right? But not yet. Right now, we've got the quick non-spoiler review. First of all, it was so good. I feel like this is definitely better than Quantumania, in my opinion, which I really enjoyed Quantumania, but I know that there's a handful of general public who didn't enjoy it as much. I really liked it, but I definitely enjoyed this one more. I think it's probably the best one since No Way Home, which, you know, is a hard movie to top. That one was just so good. But this one, it's been the best one for a while. I feel like post-Endgame, the top 3 are definitely No Way Home, Shang-Chi, and this film. Out of all of the films that have, how many have there been? I mean, there's probably barely double that, but still, it's definitely up there. Really solid. Just overall, it was really enjoyable. The only complaint I would maybe say is it's a little bit slow at the beginning, but other than that, like, the pacing is really good once you get into it. It's just an emotional roller coaster too, and so many things were just so well done. Great fight scenes, especially like one of the last ones, but like throughout the film as well. There's just so many good scenes. There's great one-liners and everything, and so overall, super, super fun, enjoyable, top-tier Marvel film, in my opinion. That's it for my quick non-spoiler review. On to my prediction reactions. Let's see how I did. Okay, so my first prediction was answering the question of how will they meet up with Gamora again, and I was totally wrong. I said that they would meet up with her in prison, which, first of all, they never actually went to prison. Those orange jumpsuits were apparently mechanics' uniforms, so that was totally off. But total shock, surprise, near the beginning of the movie, apparently Gamora's like in charge of the Ravagers now? So that's crazy, but it turns out Nebula just called her for help. So apparently they've been in contact. Didn't predict that one, so I didn't get that first one right. My second prediction was answering the question, will Peter and Gamora get back together in the end? I said yes, just, you know, hopeless romantic, I guess. But they didn't. They had a few moments, which was nice, but they didn't, and I'm not mad about it. There was definitely a character arc there, especially for Peter going through, you know, I feel like, yeah, going through the stages of grief with Gamora, and she's not the same person that he was in love with, really, and so, like, grieving over that and then accepting in the end, you know, but they did have some nice moments, so I'm not upset about that, but I was wrong. My third prediction, I was answering the question of, will it be significant that Peter and Mantis are siblings, and I'm having a hard time, honestly, this was only 5 hours ago, but remembering exactly what I said here, but I'm pretty sure I kind of changed my mind in the middle, and I changed my mind to it being wrong. What I was gonna say at first was right. Good job me. It's like when you're taking a test or something and you're checking your answers and you change and then that's the one you get wrong. I said something along the lines of that, like, it would be significant because stuff having to do with her being a daughter of Ego, which, I mean, Ego's dead, so I don't think really that would apply anymore anyway. I was just making things up in the middle of filming a video, and maybe that's not the smartest thing sometimes. It's better to just go with what I wrote down. But yeah, what really was, I mean, it was kind of significant in that, like, they had that bond. That's what I was gonna say at first, that, like, there wouldn't be huge significance, but it would be, like, them, you know, they're bonding more as brother and sister now rather than just, you know, friends. But I mean, they're a found family anyway, so that it's not there's not a change in dynamic there anyway. So, I changed my answer. Now it's wrong. So far, 0 out of 3 predictions, unfortunately, but this is when we get to it. Prediction number 4. This one I was answering the question of how would Adam Warlock come into everything. I said that he would be sent after the Guardians of the Galaxy by the High Evolutionary because he's in contact with the gold people, and it turns out, you know, he created them and created Adam, or had them, his creations create Adam, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I was right there. He was sent after them by the High Evolutionary. That happened way earlier on than I expected. That was literally just the beginning. I kind of expected that to be a little bit later on, but it happened earlier than I thought, but it did happen as I expected it. So I do have 1 point so far out of 4. Number 5 prediction was, would Adam Warlock become good at the end, team up with the Guardians? I said yes, and he did. So that's pretty cut and dry, simple. I loved seeing the credit scene at the end where he's really teamed up with the Guardians, the new Guardians, because, you know, some of the familiar faces are gone, but I liked seeing that at the end. Speaking of, you know, the last one happening earlier than I expected, this one happened a lot later than I expected, where it was basically the last thing. I kept on expecting him, like, you know, when it was just him and Gamora in the ship, I expected him to team up with her, and a couple times after that, I expected him to, like, swoop in, but it wasn't until the very end, basically, that he ended up, you know, turning and redeeming himself and saving Peter. Oh. That was, I'll talk about that more later though. So at this point, 2 for 5. Prediction number 5, I started off with the quote from the trailer that Drax says something along the lines of, he'll kill one stupid guy who no one loves. And then I kind of just extrapolated and said he, in the end, would be the one to kill the High Evolutionary, which isn't what happened. I mean, like, Rocket got a good blow, and then it kind of, you know, went through all of them, and then it was Gamora, so that didn't happen. Prediction number 7, though, this one's a good one. This is about Peter's dead body in the trailers, and I said it was just a fake out for the audience, and that he wouldn't be dead, and that it would be early on in the movie. That was, like, literally the first thing. I was so right. This is, like, the first thing in the movie. He was just passed out from drinking too much, and so I was totally right there. So yes, I have, what is that? 3 out of 7 at this point. So just below half. I'm probably gonna end up about just below half. Prediction number 8, answering the question, will someone die? I said yes. I said it would be Rocket. Although about halfway into the movie, when Rocket kept on not being revived for the longest time, and that was like the whole plot of the film, the entire trajectory it was on, like at the end when he was nearly like about to die, I'm like, there's no way they're actually gonna kill him off and make everything that happened in the movie just be for nothing. And so like the closer we got to the end, the more I was like, oh yeah, I was wrong here. And I was. Although there was a little bit of a Harry Potter type of death thing going on there, because he did, you know, talk to Lila and see his other friends in the white space and stuff. So, I mean, you could kind of argue that he died and came back to life, but in the end, he didn't completely die. He didn't end up dead, and he's alive, and I'm so happy, and no one died, so I'm happy to have gotten that prediction wrong. I think I even said that when I was filming, that I hate predicting deaths, but then it actually makes me happy if I'm wrong, so there you go. Prediction number 9 was answering the question, would they split up at the end? And they did. I didn't know exactly how they would split off. I kind of expected Drax to go off on his own, but he's with Nebula raising the new society, I guess. All of those children. That was actually a really sweet thing I liked. I guess I'm letting myself tangent now. At the end, when Nebula was like, you weren't born to be a destroyer, you were born to be a dad, and he's gonna be able to help raise all these kids and build this new society. That was super sweet. So, he and Nebula are still with each other, other, but everyone's kind of split off their own ways. Rocket and Groot are with the new Guardians. Peter's gone back to Earth. Mantis has gone who knows where. And so yeah, I was right here. I didn't predict too much details about like who would go off where and whatnot, but I did say at the end they would be splitting up, and they did. So I got that one right. I'm 4 out of 9. I think that's gonna be all of my points though. Let's mention my honorable mention prediction, because I was right, but the trailer deceived us, so I was also wrong at the same time. This one I'm not scoring myself on because it was my honorable mention. I mentioned that I was going to make a prediction that Groot would say something other than "I am Groot" at some point in the movie, and there was a point in the trailer where he says "We are Groot," but I think they just took that soundbite from the first movie, or it wasn't in, or it was something else that was recorded for this one that didn't make it into the movie, but he doesn't actually say that, unless I totally missed it while watching the movie, but it wasn't at the part where it was in the trailer. So, but there is the end part where he does say something else that's not "I am Groot," which is "I love you guys," or something like that. And that was super sweet too. It was weird hearing him say like a full sentence that's not "I am Groot," but it was sweet, you know. And so my last prediction out of 10 was a prediction, would there be a reference to Kang? And I said that yes, there would be, not like a cameo, but just a reference. And as far as I'm aware, there wasn't anything. There could be an Easter egg that we missed, but there wasn't like a stark reference building up towards Kang Dynasty. The stingers we got at the end in the credit scenes were teasing a new Guardians of the Galaxy, teasing a new Star-Lord adventures, not the Kang Dynasty Avengers stuff. So we didn't get that. I was wrong here, and that means out of 10, I got 4 right, which isn't bad. My goal is always to get 5. I got 7.5 for Quantumania, but in the end, I am really happy with this film, and the things that I predicted wrong, I like the way they did them, so I'm not mad. But yeah, that's it for my predictions. Now let's talk a bit more about the movie. I didn't write anything down, so this may be a chaotic mess. But yeah, I just want to share my full spoilery thoughts in this last bit of my video. So the biggest thing on the top of my mind about the movie itself is that it was just an emotional roller coaster. They got so close to convincing me that multiple people were going to die, and it was, oh my gosh, just the whole thing with Rocket the entire time. You know, at the beginning, I legitimately thought, are they gonna kill him off at the beginning? But, you know, there's more footage from the trailers that we haven't seen, so obviously not. But, like, he was hardly in so much of the movie. And then there's, later on, when I was so sure they weren't gonna kill him off, and then they basically did, just to bring him back. And so that was crazy, and very emotional moments too there. And then lastly, Star-Lord, oh my gosh, there's always, this happened in Quantumania too, where there was like this switch out where, like, you know, Wasp almost swapped places with Ant-Man. And so now, like, Star-Lord had gone back and was running and used this nice trick to, like, rocket off, and he was gonna make it but ran into debris, and then, like, Groot reaches out and is so close, and I'm like, they can't just kill him off, and I was gonna be so sad, and, like, his face was welling up. I'm like, he's dead by now. You've gotta be kidding me. But then Adam shows up, and that was great. For a second, I thought that was gonna happen right when he hit the debris, and then they just kept on going with it. Like, that just was drawn out so long that I thought, oh, Adam's gonna save him, and then I doubted myself, and I'm like grieving with the fact that they're gonna kill off Star-Lord, and then they didn't, and he did show up. Oh my gosh, that was just a roller coaster. And the whole thing, there were a lot of emotional moments too, just throughout, especially with Rocket and Star-Lord. At this point, there's something I said earlier on in this video that I can't remember what it was, so I might not get around to it, and if that happens, I'll put text on the screen if I get around to editing and remember what it was I was going to talk about more. But yeah, some of the things that I like to talk about in the reviews, just, you know, general stuff. What did I think of the plot? The storyline was great. Like I mentioned in my non-spoiler part, I do feel like it had a little bit of a slow start. It took a few minutes to get into it, but once, you know, it had really established that, I feel like maybe once they were on that weird fleshy planet, space station thing. I don't know what it was. Then the pacing was really good, and I was just, you know, completely in it after that. But like the whole storyline of, let's talk about the villain for a second here, of the High Evolutionary being this guy who just like wants to perfect everything, but then like he cannot succeed because it's literally impossible, and keeps on like building these societies just to destroy them when they don't end up being perfect. And then there's stuff like Rocket, who has this incredible intelligence and innovative spirit, but is not perfect in all of these other ways, physical ways and stuff. And like he feels like he needs to, you know, look into his brain instead of just let people live. Let people be, even if they're raccoons. Speaking of raccoons though, the end, I guess I started talking about characters. Honestly, one of the biggest things I like touching on in these reviews is just what I thought of the characters and their arcs and stuff. And the end, when Rocket's like, I'm Rocket Raccoon, compared to just all the times where he's always like, I'm not a raccoon, and then he realizes that he is. That was a fun moment. But also just his whole arc, I mean, he has less screen time, but where he's like, I'm not running anymore, and then they all team up together, and there's so many good shots too of just all of them coming together, like at the beginning and at that part. Oh, this movie was also very visually pleasing. Okay, more characters too. I always love the Mantis Drax banter. They're great. I love them, and Mantis just goes off with those creatures at the end. I love it. And also, oh yeah, I can't remember if this is what I was going to talk about before, but more about Adam Warlock. It was so interesting how he was played like he came out of his cocoon too early, and so he's like not mature, so sometimes he like acts a little bit like a child. That was really interesting. But I really enjoyed his character as well, and I'm excited to see the new Guardians of the Galaxy. There's Rocket and Groot still, but then the Adam Warlock and one of those little kids who we know nothing about, and Kraglin. Oh my gosh, more about characters. Kraglin gets control of the arrow. That was a great moment too. Just that thing, if you can control that, is so powerful. Oh, and Cosmo. I didn't realize Cosmo would be such a big character and so powerful too. Like mind controlling whole huge things, and that one creature, and the controlling stuff enough that there's a seal from space so everyone can walk over from one ship to the other. Wow, that is a powerful dog. I love it. Like I've also mentioned in some of my other videos, I was super excited to see the relationship between Peter and Gamora going into this, just because, you know, that was the biggest mystery going out of Endgame. Where'd Gamora go, and what will happen when they meet up again? And that was a really interesting, I talked about this a bit already in my predictions portion, but it was really interesting to see that dynamic, as she's like, yeah, I'm not that person, and Peter has to learn to accept that, but then they still have some nice moments together, and she ends up, you know, at first she's just, I need to get back to the Ravagers, I don't have any loyalty to you, but then she does, you know, go back to save them and help them and teams up with them once Rocket's been healed, and is like, I'm not running anymore. She does. She rolls her eyes for a bit or shakes her head or something, but she does follow them, and let's lead this to discussion about the action sequences. Woo! That next one right after that was so much, but so good. Like it did like a close up on like every character. There's so many characters too, but like there was just like some epic action going on for a solid couple minutes there. And there were some other really good ones throughout the movie as well, but that one's definitely the kicker, the one that like stands out the most. At this point, that's pretty much all I can think of that I really wanted to touch on about the film. Overall, it was just really enjoyable, and I want to go watch it again. So yeah, there's my thoughts and reactions to my predictions and review about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. If you have seen the film, let me know down in the comments what you thought. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree or disagree about anything I said in the video? Let's discuss it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, which you can do by clicking over there. Click the notification bell so you'll be notified next time I post some more Marvel content. I really realized I haven't gotten around to posting my trailer reaction to the Marvels trailer, so I hadn't watched it until I was in the theater today. So I will be watching it for a second time and posting my reaction sometime, hopefully in the next week or so. So yeah, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I post that video. But for now, you can check out some more of my videos. Right there is my predictions for Guardians of the Galaxy, and underneath that is a playlist of all of my movie reviews. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!